Hello, welcome to Yoga with Di. I'm Di, and this practice is all about stretching out and calming down. It's perfect for really soothing you and making you feel super chilled. So come join me on the mat. Let's get started. So come to sit in a comfortable seated position on your mat. We're just going to start by doing a few breathing exercises and checking in with the self. It's such an important part of the practice to note how you feel before you start. So close down the eyes here and maybe just take a couple of deep breaths, and on your exhales, let it go. And then just start to focus on that breath from now on. If you can, just breathe through your nose, in and out. But just focusing on the breath as it comes in through the nostrils. How it feels. Is it cool? Can you track that breath down into your torso? And then how does it feel on its way out? And we'll start with a body scan. So just start thinking about, take your attention to the top of your head and start moving that focus down through the crown of the head, the scalp, the temples, moving down the body and just noting how you feel, just observing, not trying to change anything at this point. Down through the neck and the shoulders, the chest, down the arms, into the wrists and the hands, down into the belly, the hips, the thighs, knees, shins, ankles and feet. Just feeling your way through the body with your mind's eye. And if you've noticed any little bits of tension or niggles, maybe imagine breathing into those areas, letting the air go into that area, circulate, and then exhaling the niggle, the tension away on the out breath. And then flutter the eyes open as you arrive on your mat ready for practice. So let's start with some deep yogic breathing. So maybe place one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. And as you inhale, think about trying to move that lower hand, breathing into the belly. And then exhaling nice and slowly with control. And continue like this for a few breaths at your own pace, just breathing into that lower hand. See if you can really push that hand out with the belly. And then next time you do that, just hold the breath for a moment as you breathe in, and then try and breathe further to push the hand on the chest. So it might look something like this. So it's 2 sips of air, then exhale slowly. So breathing in, and on your first sip, pushing that lower hand out, and the second sip, pushing the upper hand out. So filling the whole torso with each breath. So just a few more rounds of this. And just ensure every out breath is slow and controlled. The more you can slow that out breath, the more you'll relax the body and the mind, lower the heart rate, reduce cortisol. Really concentrate on slowly releasing every exhalation. So sipping into the belly, into the chest, and then really slowly and gently releasing that exhalation. One final time, breathing into your belly, into your chest, and slowly, slowly exhaling, bringing your hands to your knees. Let's roll the shoulders a couple of times, rolling them back and then rolling them forwards. And we'll take a couple of little neck stretches. So dropping the ear down towards the left ear down to the left shoulder. Breathing here. And then you can use your hand to help push that head back up, gently and slowly. And then we drop the right ear to the right shoulder. And breathe there. And just be mindful in this stretch as you take that ear over. The opposite shoulder might want to rise a little. Just try and ensure that you keep pushing that shoulder blade down the spine to keep that stretch in the neck. And then inhaling back to center, maybe using your hand to help you. And we'll take a few little circles with the nose. So the nose going clockwise one way, and then the clockwise the other way. And then let's come over onto our hands and knees into our tabletop position. So the setup for tabletop would be your hands underneath your shoulders, shoulder width apart, knees under the hips, hip width apart. And if you push down with your hands and your shins, you might feel the belly engage a little. And that can be very useful in a number of different postures, not just postures that start in tabletop. So maybe just take a few rounds of that, pushing down with your hands as you inhale. And then exhaling, releasing a little bit of that tension. And we'll take a few cat-cows here. So if you take a deep inhalation, and then on the exhalation, start to push the chest through the hands, sort of like through the shoulders, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't, does it? So think about lifting the chest, but it's more than just lifting the chest. It's keeping the hands where they are, almost like pulling back with the hands and pushing the chest forwards as you lift the hips. So you really get that deep extension of the spine. And breathe here. Don't forget to keep breathing. So a really good way to think about this posture as you move into it is think about the vertebra between the shoulder blades and think about pulling that vertebra forwards. So that helps with that kind of chest lift and lifting the hips. And then on your next inhalation, come back through to your neutral. Exhale here. And then inhale, pushing down through the hands and the knees. This time curling the other way, tucking the chin to the chest, looking towards your navel and lifting the ribs to the ceiling. And maybe just taking a few breaths here. On your next inhalation, moving through neutral, and maybe we'll go a little bit quicker now. So as you inhale, coming up, lifting your chest, lifting your hips, and then exhaling, moving through your neutral, coming into your angry cat, and then inhaling. So just nice and slowly. Don't worry if your breath pattern doesn't mirror mine. Just keep your own slow, steady breaths, and the movement on the breath really helps with focusing and calming the mind. And then on your next exhalation, coming back to your neutral, and you might want to think about moving your left shoulder towards your left hip. Obviously it won't get there, but it's the intent that will create a really nice stretch in the right side. And then we go the other way, moving the right shoulder towards the right hip. I say obviously it won't get there. There could be some extremely flexible people out there. I don't know. It seems a bit unlikely that you'd get your shoulder to your hip in this posture. But if you do, let me know. I'd love to see a photo actually. So keep moving in this, just with the breath. And then we'll come back to our neutral. And maybe sit back on the heels a little bit if you want to just rest the wrists, circle the wrists a little, and maybe flex the hands. And we'll take a child's pose. So take the knees out wide, walk the hands forwards, the toes can touch, and you can bring the head towards the mat. If this isn't comfortable for you, the hips can be lifted and you can have your forearms on the floor and head towards the mat. If you are in that posture, one thing I would say is just be careful about crunching into the neck. So keeping the elbows wide and the shoulder blades pushing down the spine to try and avoid that crunch. And then if you're back towards your heels, stretching your arms forwards and breathing into the sides of the body. Just imagining that breath coming down, swirling around the torso. And keeping those exhalations slow and steady. And then when you're ready, coming back up to the tabletop position once more. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Stretch your left leg back and we'll just rock gently into that back heel just to open up the back of the leg. Feel that stretch in the knee. And then maybe hop that foot outside the right foot and turn, and it's a similar position as we did before where we moved our right shoulder to our right hip. Turn and look towards those toes, just a little bit more intense with the foot on the other side of the leg. If this is a little bit much, then just repeat the move we did earlier. Breathing here, and then bring that leg back in, and we take the other side. So stretching the right leg back, rocking gently into that leg, opening up the back of the leg, and then hopping that foot on the outside of the knee and looking towards the foot. Breathing here. And then hopping that foot back, coming back into your tabletop. This time we take the left leg back. Let's drop that left heel so the heel drops behind the right toes, but then move that right shin back for additional support. Bring the right hand in slightly and see if you can slowly peel the left arm up. And if you want to take it to the sky, please take to the sky, or you can have on your hip, whatever's comfortable for you. Or you can stay with the hand down and just breathe into this posture. That's more of a twist, which is also great for the body. But if you want more of the stretch in the side, then come up and stretch. If you really want to intensify this, you can take the arm up and over. So just breathe into that side waist. And if you feel like you've lost the breath slightly, or it's a little bit more laboured, maybe think about, even in the posture, coming back to that 2 sips of air. So filling the belly and then filling the chest and then slowly exhaling. And a few rounds of that can just help get you back to a slow, steady breath. And then we'll take that arm up and over, plant the hand, and we take the other side. Before we do, maybe just have a little check-in with the self here. Just note how you feel in tabletop. One side might feel a little different to the other. I'm going to spin around so I don't have my back to you. And then don't worry if it feels different. We're going to sort that out right now by taking the other side. So putting the right leg behind you and rocking gently into that leg again, and then dropping the heel behind the toes. Take that shin back for a little bit of extra support. Bring this left hand in slightly, and then push into that hand to slowly peel up the right arm and take that arm to the ceiling. And the more you push into the outer edge of this foot, the more intense the stretch will be. So again, if you wish to take the arm up and over, please do so. If you want to keep your hand here or keep the hand down, absolutely fine, whatever's working for you. Just keep that breath slow and steady, nice slow exhalations. And then we take the hand down, come back to our tabletop. And then this time, maybe come onto the fingertips here to help give yourself a bit of room. Bring that right foot forwards so that you plant it on the outside of your right hand. And maybe walk the hands forward slightly to then bring the hips forward to see if you can get a bit of a stretch on the front of that left hip. We want to avoid having the knee shoot too far over the toes here. It's not too bad when you're low like this and you've got weight on other parts of the body, but it's good practice to kind of keep that knee above the ankle in yoga, because it can be quite a lot of pressure on the joints in other postures. There's not too much of a big deal here if your foot is a little bit behind you. Don't worry too much. It's just sometimes good to try and get into certain habits from the off. So just breathing into that stretch, coming back to your breath here, nice and slow. And then start to walk the hands back as you take the hips back to bring a stretch into that hamstring. So toes can be pointed down, or you can flex them back up to get a little bit more into the calf, whatever you feel you need. Taking those hips back, just enough to feel that stretch where you feel you need it. And then we'll walk the hands forwards, come back to our tabletop. Let's take the other side. I should have said, actually, we're on our knees quite a lot for this. So if you are finding it a bit of a challenge, then you can take a rolled up towel or put a little sort of softness underneath the knees. So walking those hands forwards, hips forwards, coming into that stretch. So you can use something underneath the knees just to soften it if you want to do this practice again and you're finding it a lot on the knees. Then put a cushion or a towel underneath. So again, breathing into that stretch. Slow, steady breaths. And then we'll gently walk our hands back and come into that hamstring stretch. So toes pointing to the ceiling or pointing to the floor, whatever works for you. And then gently walking the hands forwards, and you'll be relieved to know we're coming off our knees now to come to our seat. So making your way to comfortable seated position with your legs in front. So bring the left leg in, plant the foot, hug that knee to help straighten the spine, and maybe lift the right arm to the sky, or you can keep the right arm here, whatever works for you. Either way, we're going to try and start to twist. So moving sort of the same direction as the bent knee. If you've raised the arm, bring it down and hug to look over your left shoulder. If your arm's here, just see if you can move the hand round and move the whole torso round as you move. And then again, just breathing into that posture. And then slowly unwinding, and we'll take the other side. So stretching that leg out, bringing the right leg in, planting that foot, lifting the chest, straightening the spine, lift the arm and twist and grab that knee. And then gently unwinding and coming to a comfortable seated position once again. So whether that's cross-legged or on your knees or on a chair for this, whatever works for you. And let's close down the eyes again. So let's start to focus on the breath once more. And this time we'll start to inhale for a count of 3 and exhale for a count of 4. So as you inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continue with this rhythm. If you're struggling to match the rhythm, don't worry, just do your best. Just focus on lengthening those exhalations and the inhalation will come. So inhaling 2, 3, exhaling 2, 3, 4. Now let's try inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Let's aim for 6. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last round. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let the eyes flutter open. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, let it all go. Let the body soften. Let the mind soften. And just note now how you feel in yourself. Whether there's been any slight movement or changes. Bring your hands into prayer at your heart center. As you inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bring the hands down through your heart center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bring the hands down through your heart center. One last time. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bring your hands down through your heart center and bow forwards. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope you're feeling super chilled, super relaxed, and whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you.